Now, Bakugo may not be the typical definition of a hero, but who cares when you've got a name like Explosion Murder God Dynamite? No, seriously, even though he's not the cliche kind and innocent hero, one doesn't come as close to being a hero as him. His will to protect and his struggle to ever better himself are no short of respectable. Some might even say he's a better written hero than young Midoriya. Why, you might ask? Well, let's walk through his journey and try to answer that very question. But before we begin, please consider to like and subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell to be notified of the latest updates. Done? Let's dive right into it. Katsuki Bakugo is a deuteragonist of this tale, having developed a rivalry with the main boy Izuku Midoriya. Unlike Izuku, Bakugo was gifted with an innate talent in the form of his quirk. His ability was badass, and his capability in handling that power made him ever famous amongst his peers. This constant praise from all sides instilled in him a sense of superiority that once with weaker quirks were beneath him. And one such boy whom he considered unworthy was Deku. The prideful Bakugo would bully the poor soul, breaking his already broken state on being born powerless. In his early days, Bakugo and Izuku had a somewhat friendly relationship, but it all changed when Deku offered an injured Bakugo a helping hand. Thinking of this as an insult, the explosion-wielding boy would develop this unjustified hatred towards powerless people in general, thinking of himself as a better being altogether. And much into his teen years, this attitude only kept worsening. He was aiming to enter U.K.A, the most prestigious hero school in Japan, but then seeing that Deku too was aiming for U.A, the superiority complex-driven Bakugo couldn't handle it. This intensified the bullying, where Bakugo burned Izuku's cherished hero book. At the time, who could have known that such a boy would become his rival? One normal day, Bakugo ran into an escapee goo thingy that took him hostage. Facing the same monster as Deku did previously, Bakugo proved much more resilient. Where Izuku was about to lose in mere moments, Bakugo struggled for a solid few minutes, fighting, being suffocated, and trying to be controlled. But despite the utmost efforts and brilliant resistance, Bakugo felt his end near. Then, all of a sudden, separating himself from the crowd, a lone boy came sprinting to save him. That boy was none other than Deku. That very powerless boy Bakugo felt ashamed to befriend was trying to save him. That was the moment when Bakugo realized his very grave mistake. He underestimated young Midoriya's resolve. Hence, that day Bakugo improved a little. Now, both having entered U.K.A, Bakugo, due to his pure destructive ability, and Izuku, thanks to his newfound powers, the real rivalry began. For now, Deku was no longer a powerless boy. He too was a worthy competition. Throughout all the trial battles that took place, Bakugo's and Deku's was the most entertaining. This was the first time he formally fought Izuku in a duel. Initially underestimating his capabilities, he charged at the boy head-on. Little did he know how gravely he had misunderstood Izuku. All the time that he spent powerless, he spent developing his knowledge upon various quirks, developing strategies to nullify them. And Bakugo's was one of them. The explosion murder god Dynamite found himself at a loss when, using his own powers against him, Deku had him on the ropes and nearly won the duel. Realizing how much he'd underestimated Midoriya, Bakugo couldn't stand the thought of him losing to someone like Deku. This hit him with a reality check that there was still a treacherous road ahead to becoming the number one, so expressing his distrust on the events, Bakugo shed a tear and set out to achieve more strength, for he wasn't about to be bested that easily. His resilience and drive was again to be tested during the U.A Sports Festival arc, where he would of course try to reach for the top spot. A competition between multiple classes, but his eyes were set on Izuku. Throughout the entirety of the competition, all Bakugo had his sights set on was to prove his superiority against everyone else. How he was the best and that he was going to be number one. Though Deku wasn't the one he'd be facing in the finale, it was a worthy foe nonetheless, Todoroki. Seeing the Fire-Ice hybrid use all the power in his arsenal to best Deku, it was a chance for Bakugo to defeat him and prove that he was the best. But to his utter frustration, Todoroki refused to unleash his fire abilities again, sticking only to the ice. This would ultimately lead to Bakugo winning the bout, but he wasn't having this. He wanted to face the very powers who Deku lost to, and this win felt like charity, something he didn't rightfully earn. Nonetheless, a win's a win. His ego to be the best keeps getting more and more inflated as he looks forward to an all-out battle between him and Izuku. And with these thoughts in mind, the final exams approach. It comes as a shocker when the exam is changed from what it usually is to a pair of two students pit against the teacher. Irritating to Bakugo, he's placed together with Deku and their opponent is All Might. Despite the disadvantageous circumstances, Bakugo outright refuses to cooperate with Deku, his false sense of strength making him believe he could take on the number one just like that. These hopes soon come crashing down when in mere moments All Might has both Bakugo and Deku on the floor, gasping for air. Despite their utmost efforts, fighting All Might is not something possible alone. Hence, placing his ego aside for the moment, both he and Deku decide to work together for the time being. He's willing to let his rivalry slide to achieve the bigger goal. Such is how a true hero thinks. Though this teamwork manages to give them an upper hand, it lasts only mere moments, after which the control again shifts in All Might's favor. Recognizing they have no chance, Bakugo shows maturity and tries to hold his teacher back while allowing Deku a window to escape. It should have worked, but as Bakugo lay pinned down by All Might, the stubborn hero had to save him. Deku rushed back and with a precise blow managed to push All Might back. This gave Deku the time he needed to carry Bakugo across the finish line. Who would have thought that the very Bakugo who deemed everyone as lesser beings than him would one day be working together with his greatest rival? That he would fight not only for himself, but for someone else. This marked a major improvement in his attitude as Bakugo for the first time realized that teamwork wasn't half bad. With the final exam done and dusted, the course resumes. To help students further develop their quirks, a special training camp is held in the forest. Bakugo realizes that while he trains his body, his quirk isn't improving with it. Hence, he indulges himself in some quirk-enhancing exercises. That night, calamity strikes again when members of the League of Villains attack the forest, searching for Bakugo. Their plan: recruit the winner of U.A. Sports Festival. An all-out war begins between the students and the villains, Bakugo being at the forefront of it all. Despite the imminent threat he's facing, Bakugo recklessly rushes into the battle, taking on anyone he can find. It's gonna take more than fear to keep him down. Unfortunately, amidst the chaos, Bakugo is captured and taken to the League of Villains hideout. Seeing himself in the enemy den, for some reason, fear is far from what he's feeling. Despite the disadvantageous situation, he continues to threaten the villains, ordering them to let him go at once. Amidst this conversation, All Might blasts into their hideout, thinking he has rescued a student. But little does he realize a mastermind is behind it all. Letting Bakugo slip through his hands yet again, All Might realizes the man behind it all for one, and rushes to face him. As for young Bakugo, all he can do at this point is watch the two brutes duke it out. That is until his allies from U.A. arrive, and in an instant he's asked to make a decision: stick to his ways and stay here, or accept a helping hand from his friends and escape. Finally, he lets go of the shackles holding him back. Realizing the danger his friends took to come rescue him, Bakugo can't resist giving in to the whole friendship farce and allows himself to be rescued. This has been his journey from the arrogant superiority complex infected brat to the hero he is today. He may not be the main character, but this tale of his is surely that of a hero. All in all, Katsuki Bakugo has lived a life worthy of him. Through his growth and development, he has proved on multiple occasions that he has all the qualities one seeks in a hero. He's kind, he's helping, he's considerate, well, sometimes, and he has that fire to ever develop himself. I mean, who cares if he's a bully, right? Alright, that last part might be a little on the villainous side, but he's come a long way from that. He has learned to treat people with respect, work as a team, and acknowledge Deku as his rival. If he ain't main character material, then I don't know who is. And that would be it for today. If you enjoyed it, please consider to like and subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell to be notified of any latest uploads. And while you're at it, share it with your other otaku friends too. With that said, see you in the next one. Peace.